something in show business had she not raised 11 children.
Well, with that many kids around the household, siblings, there had to have been a lot of laughing and pranks and good times.
It's like growing up at in a almost like having a baseball team or
You did have your own baseball team.
Or two basketball teams.
In your book, Hey Mom, you open up about eating problems and dealing with that. What was your gateway to food addiction?
Well, my dad was an alcoholic, and whenever there was trouble after the fact, my mom would feed us.
You just mentioned your dad and alcoholism. Sure. So when we see you now, we see the success.
We're going to talk more about Louie Anderson's parents. Both his father and his mother was absolutely integral to not just his, childhood development during his formidable years or formative years, not only then, but also with his adult years with his comedy. So it sounds like his father was, pretty awful. But with the jokes that Louie Anderson you can tell that there's a love. You can tell that he loves his father. So, I could kind of relate. Apparently his father was an abusive alcoholic. He had 11 kids. Louie was number 10. And he killed it on The Tonight Show. In the 1980s or 90s, he came out and did a bunch of fat jokes with Johnny Carson and wowed the world. Also did a bunch of, man, my dad was such a dick jokes. One joke Louie Anderson had said where he was sitting there doing some birthday coupons for his mother, and the first one was, do the dishes, clean the living room, kill dad for you. His mother had to go back to him and say, Louie, one of those coupons I didn't like. I didn't really appreciate too much. Which one? The dishes one? No, the killing dad one. But I'd do it for you, Mom. That's what Louie Anderson would say. But, so he's frustrated with his father. But when they were sitting at the dinner table, his father called him Old Hitman Louie. That's how he handled this birthday coupon, debacle or crisis or controversy. Old Hitman Louie. Old Hitman Louie sitting there. Turns out I'm living on borrowed time here. It's not much longer before old Hitman Louie gets me. So that's, his father was awful, but he had some charming and creative and funny aspects to himself, too. Louie Anderson was the token white guy on Coming with America, the Eddie Murphy movie. Coming to America, and that happened because Louie had paid for Eddie Murphy's dinner. You had Eddie Murphy come into the same restaurant that Louie Anderson was at, and Eddie Murphy had his entire entourage. And so Louie Anderson paid for Eddie Murphy and the entire entourage before they went to pay for the bill. And Louie said, I bet you nobody's ever done that for Eddie Murphy, and that's what Eddie Murphy had said. And it wound up getting him that movie role because they said you need to put a white guy. You need a white guy in this movie. And then Eddie Murphy was like, well, I do have one in mind. And it also helped his career. So Louie just said he was from the Midwest, and that's just what we do when we're from the Midwest. And it was the best $700 that Louie Anderson ever spent. So it turned out to be a pretty good investment.
Successful, smart, funny guy, but when you were growing up, you went through a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Well, if you grow up in a household of alcoholism, your whole life revolves around the alcoholism. It just is a fact. It's a fact. When you walk in the house, you feel, is he drinking? Is he not drinking? That's it's like a psychic thing you develop.
You're like on eggshells. What are we going to see today?
Yeah. And so you would, just with eye contact, your brothers and sisters would say, or he's okay today, you know? I've done a lot of work to make myself, work through those things and to work on them and to make myself.
He's going to get to a really good lesson for anybody that's ever gone through anything similar. Last but not least, his Basket's character was delightful. It was very sweet and consoling. So Arby's, so Costco, so very, very Arby's. And yet, strong when she needed to be, when she got, like how she got that French woman tossed out of Chip's life. So she got that French woman who was exploiting Chip, tossed out of Chip's life, but she was such a sweetheart. So sweet and consoling, and he said it was based on his mother's life, so. All right, Louie Anderson, what can we learn from your life?
More, so I don't become that person.
And he wasn't particularly kind to you in regards to your weight. Is that correct?
No, he always, he would kick the door into my bedroom when he was drunk and go, "Get up, lard ass. Get up, do some exercise." So it was a very difficult thing, but whatever you have to deal with in life, what's your choice? Do you rise up and make something out of your life, or do you lay in a ball and let that person continue to control you? You have to make a choice. You have to get help. I always say to people, find somebody who you can believe in and be a confidant to.
So that's really good advice. Do you lay in a ball and cry in a corner and let that person continue to victimize you, or do you stand up and bring about a change? Do you work on your character so you can make your own way, do your own thing? So R.I.P. Louie Anderson. R.I.P.